Hey guys, welcome to Jaxbeautifulyou. My name's Jackie, and in today's video we're going to be talking about affordable fragrances. So if you're like me, I love a good affordable hidden gem, and I have a lot of perfumes in my collection that are on the more affordable side. I have some high-end fragrances, but I also have some affordable fragrances that I think are just as good and that I reach for just as much as my high-end expensive fragrances. So it just goes to show that you do not have to spend an arm and a leg on perfumes in order to get good ones. And yeah, I know that this hobby of ours can be crazy expensive, so it is always nice to find good quality fragrances at an affordable price. When I say affordable, I'm focusing on about the $50 range. I know we do all have different opinions on what affordable actually is, but for me, it's right around the $50 mark. Some of these are a little bit more than 50, some of these are a little bit less, but it's give or take around $50. If you're new here, hi, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on my thumbnail today. If you like what you see, if you find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. To all of my returning subscribers, thank you guys so much for all your continued support. I really appreciate you. And if you are interested in hearing about my favorite affordable fragrances in my collection, then just keep on watching. Alright you guys, the first perfume I have for you is brand new to my collection, but this has quickly become a love of mine. I absolutely love this. I've worn this a few times now since I got it. I haven't hauled it for you guys or spoke about it on my channel yet. I wanted to get a feel for it first before I told you guys about it, but this is by Lattafa, and this is from their Pride collection. This is Nebras, I believe is how you say it. I'll put it up on the screen. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but it is absolutely gorgeous, you guys. I'm so impressed with this, and talk about a hidden gem. I don't hear a ton of people talking about this. I've actually been pretty curious about Lattafa lately. I've heard a lot of good things about the brand, but they're so affordable. So yeah, I got this right around the $50 mark, and this is a 100 ml bottle for $50-ish, and it smells absolutely fantastic. So top notes, you have some red berries and you have mandarin orange, which I definitely get in the opening. I get that sweet red berry and some orange, kind of not really citrusy, I would say, but it's more like a sweet orange, you know? It's beautiful. I love the opening of this. And then in the mid, you have vanilla, cacao, and rose. I don't really pick up a lot of rose in here. To me, this is more of like a sweet, fruity gourmand. It doesn't really smell overly floral to me, so I don't pick up rose too much, but I do get the vanilla and the cacao for sure. It smells incredible. And then in the base, you have tonka bean, amber, sugar, and musk. I definitely pick up that sugar, that musk is in here for sure, so it's not like super gourmand to the point where it smells like food. The musk kind of keeps it from being a full-on foodie gourmand, helps it to give it this like sweet kind of clean feel. And yeah, but mostly gourmand though. It's mostly gourmand. And then of course the tonka bean in here is beautiful as well. Great performance. It lasts all day. It has moderate to good sillage and projection. And I don't know why more people aren't talking about this, because this is fantastic. So if you're looking for a very feminine, sweet, fruity gourmand scent, I highly recommend this one because it will not break the bank, but it smells like high-end for sure. This next fragrance I've had for a while and I enjoy it so much. It's one of my all-time favorite perfumes in my collection, and I think I paid around $50 for this fragrance. And this is by Zadig and Voltaire. This is Her. This is such a fun fragrance. I just love this one. This has really great performance on me. Zero issues with the performance at all. And it smells like chestnut and whipped cream and vanilla, but then in the base you have sandalwood. So when this dries down, you have this gorgeous, sweet, creamy sandalwood fragrance, and I think this is fantastic. It makes me smile. Every time I smell it, it makes me smile, and it makes me think of fun times for some reason. I'm not really sure why, but I think this is such a hidden gem. Well, not really hidden. I know a lot of people talk about this fragrance. I know a lot of people love this fragrance. I'm not the only one. I have heard some people that have tried this and they didn't understand what the hype was about, which is true on any fragrance. You know, sometimes you're gonna get a fragrance that everybody else loves that just doesn't work for you, and that's okay. But this one, I feel like a lot of people do love this perfume. So if you like chestnut, if you like whipped cream, if you like sandalwood fragrances, I think you would love this. It is a 100 ml bottle for right around the $50 mark. and you just can't go wrong with this one. Again, amazing performance. I have never had an issue with the performance of this, so definitely get your money's worth. It is definitely good for lasting, and yeah, just one of the most fun fragrances in my collection. So that is by Zadig and Voltaire. This is her. All right, up next, I want to talk about a fragrance that actually really surprised me. This is by Mix Bar, and this is from Target is where I bought this from. And I wasn't expecting too much. This is vanilla bourbon. I wasn't expecting too much from this fragrance. It's $18 at Target, I think is what I paid for this. And I just kind of thought it was going to be a boring, basic vanilla fragrance, but I was pleasantly surprised by this. I really like this fragrance. I think the projection is okay. Like, the performance is just moderate. It's not super loud and it's not super long lasting, but it's decent. It's what I would consider moderate. I think I get about 5 hours out of this with a moderate projection, but for $18, I really cannot complain. So what surprised me is how not boring this fragrance is. So in the top you have black pepper and bergamot. That's not boring at all, you know? Like, I was kind of surprised that there was black pepper in here, because that's not necessarily the most mass appealing note ever, you know? Some people really don't like that, but in here, I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Like, it's not over the top black pepper, but it's definitely in there. It definitely adds some character, a little bit of a kick to the fragrance. And then in the mid, you have jasmine, vanilla orchid, and apple blossom. I think that those are some pretty interesting notes as well. And then in the base, you have Madagascar vanilla, sandalwood, and amber. And I think this is beautiful. This doesn't smell cheap to me at all. I mean, it's not like the most elevated, amazing vanilla fragrance I've ever smelled, but I've also smelled some niche perfumes that weren't the most amazing elevated vanilla fragrances I've ever smelled either. But this is $18 and you really cannot complain. It actually is really, really good in my opinion. If you're looking for a really good, affordable vanilla fragrance that is not boring at all, and that will actually surprise you, if you like a little bit of pepper, a little bit of spice in your vanilla, I would highly recommend you check this out. So I was pleasantly surprised by this one. I think it is pretty good, especially for the price. All right, up next, this one will not be a surprise to anyone who watches my channel because I talk about this one quite a lot, but this is by Swiss Arabian. This is Casablanca. This is one of my all-time favorite Halloween fragrances. I love wearing this in the fall. Every time the weather starts to get a bit cooler, I start to crave this fragrance. So this is a very, very sweet fragrance. I think I paid right around $50. This might be a little bit more than the $50 mark, just slightly. I can't remember exactly how much I paid for it. Maybe it was like in the $50, $60 range, but still, this is so worth it in my opinion because this is a beast. This is a beast mode fragrance. You get a lot for your money, and you don't need to spray a lot. It will definitely fill up a room and it lasts all day. So amazing performance on this. So in the top you have grapes and green apple. I pick up green apple quite a bit, but I think the grapes in here just make this perfume really sweet. So you have to be into sweet fragrances for sure. There's also patchouli, iris, there's white woods, there's some suede I believe in the base. So this is not just a straight up gourmand fragrance. I do pick up a little bit of that suede in here. I do pick up a little bit of the patchouli in here as well. So it's not a full-on gourmand. To me, this smells like a perfume version of a caramel apple. And I love caramel apples. It's one of my favorite fall desserts to eat. And this just reminds me of it. It just reminds me of Halloween for some reason. And I just love it so, so much. So if you're looking for a sweet caramel apple fragrance that's not a full-on gourmand, because remember, it does have those non-foodie notes in it as well. Base notes, there's caramel, there's amber, it's very ambery, there's some musk, and there's some balsam in here as well. So yeah, not a full-on foodie gourmand, but definitely has some pretty strong gourmand notes. Very sweet, very strong, very good for lasting, definitely a good bang for your buck, and I just adore this fragrance. So that is by Swiss Arabian Casablanca. All right, another fragrance that I talk about quite a bit is by Zara, and this is Rose Gourmand. I have been super impressed with this fragrance. This has the same DNA as Montal's Intense Cafe, but without the coffee. It does smell to me a lot like Mancera's Roses Vanille, and if you like this kind of DNA, If you like this scent profile, this is so good. This is a fraction of the price of those other fragrances, and you get so much. I think this is 80 ml, and I paid like $30 for this fragrance. This lasts all day. It's just as strong and just as good as Rose's Vanille in my opinion. Actually, I actually prefer this one a little bit more because there's a bit of a screechy note in Rose's Vanille that I do not get in here. So this is my preferred Rose's Vanille, if you will, and I think it is absolutely phenomenal. I love this one. I get such a craving for this fragrance whenever the weather starts to cool down. I just crave this. I get really sick of it after a while, but then I don't wear it for a long time, and then the weather starts to get cool, and then I want to wear it again. And I just think it is such a good perfume. Absolutely fantastic quality. So this is rose, amber, and vanilla, basically. And yeah, that's what it smells like. It's very jammy rose, very, very sweet vanilla, very warm amber. It's gorgeous. I love this scent profile right now. I'm so in the mood for it. There are all those other perfumes that kind of have that same DNA, but if you want to save some money, this is definitely the way to go. So that is Rose Gourmand by Zara. Absolutely love this one. All right, up next we have Kim Kardashian by Kim Kardashian. This one shocked me. I picked this one up at Nordstrom Rack. I had never smelled it before, and I was pleasantly surprised. I think I picked this up for around $15. And it smells really, really good. It does not smell like a celebrity perfume. It does not smell cheap. This is really well done. I actually compared this next to Gucci Bloom, and they smelled really similar to each other. So if you like white florals, if you like Gucci Bloom, you would really like this, but this is a fraction of the price. This also reminds me of Tocca's Florence, I believe it's called. I love that fragrance as well, but this one smells so similar that I just never picked that one up. I had a deluxe sample of that one. I'm a big white floral fan, by the way, so you definitely have to like heady white florals in order to enjoy this. But if you like Florence, if you like Gucci Bloom, this one is beautiful. Plus the performance is really good on this one. This one lasts all day and projects really well. So you've got some honeysuckle in here, you've got some mandarin orange, you have of course the trifecta, you have the gardenia, the jasmine, you have the orange blossom in here, which I definitely pick up on gardenia for sure. It's so beautiful in here though. And then there's some spices. I don't really get anything spicy. There's tonka bean, musk, sandalwood, orchid, and some woody notes. So yeah, I just think this is a beautiful, really well done perfume for a fraction of the price of the other ones that I mentioned. So I really get in the mood for this one when spring comes around and the flowers start to bloom and the jasmine's in the air, you know, then I really want to pull this one out and wear it. Spring and summer is definitely when I pull for this one. So that is Kim Kardashian by Kim Kardashian. Get this one instead of Gucci Bloom for $15. You will not regret it. Okay, up next we have by Elizabeth and James. This is Nirvana Amethyst. This is another fragrance I talk a lot about because I absolutely love it, and this is kind of like my gateway tobacco fragrance. I didn't really think I liked tobacco until I got this one, and then I realized I do like tobacco. It just has to be done a certain way. So this is a very beginner friendly tobacco fragrance, and this smells amazing. Like, this is not a cheap smelling fragrance to me at all. This is only like $30, I think, is what I paid for this, and I just think it's absolutely phenomenal. So this perfume, you have some honeysuckle, there's obviously tobacco in here, there's cedar and some spices. And I think the honeysuckle in here is just beautiful. Keeps it a little sweet, so it smells like a sweet tobacco, more feminine leaning type of scent to my nose. Very beginner friendly, very easy to wear, won't break the bank. So if you're trying to get into tobacco fragrances, start out with this one. I will say though that some people do complain about the performance on this. To me, this isn't a great performing perfume, but it's not terrible either. I think for the price, it's pretty good. This one lasts on me pretty decent amount of time. I get about 4 or 5 hours out of this fragrance with a moderate projection. Can't really complain since I only paid like 30 bucks for it, but some people don't even get that. Some people, I've heard, this just does not last at all. But I think this is an absolutely beautiful fragrance, and I really love wearing this one right when the fall hits. Like as soon as the weather starts to get a little bit cooler, I start to get in the mood for this fragrance. So that is by Elizabeth and James. That is Nirvana Amethyst. All right, this next fragrance has been talked about a lot on YouTube, and people have a difference of opinion on this fragrance, but I am definitely all about this fragrance. I have loved this fragrance for a very long time, and this is by Jessica Simpson. This is Fancy. I think this is great. I still think this is great. I loved this fragrance a long time ago, even before I was ever into perfumes. I remember smelling this and thinking this was really nice. I still feel that way to this day. This does not smell cheap to me at all. There's a little bit of like an alcohol opening. When I first spray it, I get like this alcohol kind of blast, but that quickly goes away, and then I just smell this gorgeous vanilla and caramel combination. So top notes, you have apricot, pear, and red berries. I do pick up on that juicy kind of fruity pear more than I do anything else. In the mid, you have caramel, almond, gardenia, and jasmine. I know some people pick up on like the florals in here, but I never really have. For me, the caramel is very strong in here. I don't really pick up on almond either. And then in the base, you get vanilla, amber, and sandalwood. So mostly for me, I get some pear, I get a lot of caramel, and I get a lot of vanilla. So to me, this smells like a caramel vanilla cake with some fruity notes in the opening. So I think it's absolutely gorgeous. This isn't the best performing perfume, but it's not the worst. I do wear this one to bed quite often. It's probably my favorite time to wear it. I don't really wear this fragrance out all that much unless I'm just going to be chilling and I want to feel cozy and comforted in my house, you know, because I really only get about 4 hours of this perfume, so just keep that in mind. But I think you can get this for like less than $15 online right now, so you can't complain too much because it is pretty affordable. So I just love this one. I think it smells incredible. It's very comfy, cozy to me. I love to wear it on those days when I'm just curling up on the couch or, like I said, to bed. So that is by Jessica Simpson, and that is Fancy. All right, up next we have by Sofia Vergara. This is Sofia. This is a gorgeous fragrance. I fell in love with this at first sniff. I was shocked when I first smelled this. This smells so high-end to me. Like, this does not smell cheap at all. I am super impressed by the quality of this fragrance. If you like fragrances like Coco Mademoiselle, I think you would really like this. I don't think this is a dupe for Coco Mademoiselle, but it does remind me of Coco Mademoiselle. It has that classy, elegant feel to it. Amazing performance with this as well. This is a little bit sweeter to me than Coco Mademoiselle. This is like a sweet version, and it has plum in here as well. I do pick up that plum where I don't pick up, there's no plum in Coco Mademoiselle. So some people say this is a cross between Coco Mademoiselle and La Vie Belle, which I kind of get that. I don't think it's anywhere near as sweet as La Vie Belle, but I do kind of see where people are coming from with that reference. And yeah, I just think the quality of this is so good. This is extremely affordable. You can get a big 100 ml bottle of this for like right around $30. It's insane. Performance is excellent. The scent is excellent. It smells high quality. You really cannot beat this. I mean, talk about getting a bang for your buck, you know? This is just such a good perfume in my opinion. So top notes, you have blackberry and plum, and I definitely pick up on that plum for sure. It's just a sweet, it's not overly done though. It's not like an overdone plum. Sometimes plum is just too much if it smells overripe, but it doesn't smell like that in here. It's just perfect. And then you have some rose, some violet, some orchid, and then in the base you have woody notes, you have some vanilla and sandalwood. I'm kind of surprised that there's no patchouli listed in here because I definitely kind of pick up on that like Chanel patchouli vibe. I think that's why people compare this to Coco Mademoiselle. There's got to be patchouli in here. I don't believe that there's not patchouli in here. I'm just looking at Fragrantica, which Fragrantica is not always right. So yeah, I just think this is gorgeous and so good for lasting. Such an affordable gem in my opinion. So if you like Coco Mademoiselle but you don't want to spend the money on it, give this one a shot. You might like this one as well. Very classy, very elegant, very sophisticated smelling, but it will not break the bank. So that is by Sofia Vergara, and that is Sofia. All right, guys, the last one I have to talk about is Lolitaland by Lolita Lumpica. I love this one. This is such a delicious gourmand fragrance that lasts all day, and it is just beautiful. I just adore this fragrance so much. And I think this is a fun fragrance because people really have difference of opinions on how this smells. This has a lot of notes in it, so I feel like some people pick up certain notes more than others, and there's a wide variety of interpretation on how this smells. Top notes, you have Bellini, you have some orange, pepper, grapefruit, lemon, and lime. I definitely pick up on the Bellini in here. It gives it a really boozy feel to my nose. And then the mid, you have peach, plum, blackcurrant, magnolia, you have some jasmine and rose. Some people pick up the peach the most in here. I pick up the plum. So that Bellini and plum mixed together really smells quite boozy to my nose. And then in the base you have vanilla and you have some licorice in here, which I definitely pick up on that licorice. I'm a big fan of licorice in my perfumes. And some way, somehow, the combination of that plum and that licorice and that boozy Bellini smells like a boozy root beer float to me. Add that vanilla and that's where you're kind of getting, I'm kind of getting this float vibe. But yeah, there's benzoin in here as well. So it's just this sweet, delicious fragrance. No matter what your nose is picking up on, you're going to get a gourmand take. But what a fun fragrance, right? Like, I would love to know from you guys, if you have this fragrance, what do you pick up from this perfume? Do you pick up the peach? I kind of wish I picked up the peach because I love peach in my perfumes, but I just really do not smell peach in here. I just really get the plum, the Bellini, the licorice, and the vanilla. I think it smells incredible. It lasts all day long. I think it is super fun and delicious. So if you're looking for a really good, interesting, fun, kind of complex gourmand fragrance that won't break the bank, then try Lolitaland from Lolita Lumpica. All right, you guys, and that is it for today's video. Those are my favorite affordable fragrances in my collection, and I want to hear from you. I want to know, what are your favorite affordable perfumes in your collection that you want to recommend to me. I love getting suggestions from you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I hope everybody is having a fantastic day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!